Hello, hello. Hi, guys. This is Melissa Thorsby, and thank you for joining me in my free keto community. How is everyone? Today, I'm so super excited to be here. I get to interview, do a live interview with Raj Patel. He's a 7-year keto coach from myketocoach.com. He's a husband, he's a dad, and he's helped over 7,000 people get into ketosis and live a healthier lifestyle. So we're gonna wait till he jumps on here. For now, I'll just let you know that what I did was I asked all you guys your important questions, and I compiled them and I got them together. And this is the questions we're gonna be asking Raj today. Here he is. I'm gonna try and get him on here now. Hey, Raj. I'm gonna invite. So, let's see. There we go. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here today. I'm so super excited to ask these important questions that we've all probably had about the keto diet and putting our bodies in ketosis and what it's really all about. So, it looks like you don't mind. Let me try one more time, you guys. Don't you love technology sometimes? There he is. Hey, Raj, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good.
Just give me one sec.
That's all right. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
All right, here, guys. Here's Raj Patel. He's, like I was saying, he's a 7-year keto coach from myketocoach.com. He's a husband, he's a dad, and he's helped over 7,000 people get into ketosis, live a healthier lifestyle. I've compiled questions from everyone that I've talked to, and that's the important questions we're going to ask about the keto diet and putting our bodies in ketosis and what it's really all about. You know, what is this whole keto thing about? So I want to thank you guys for joining us. Say hello when you drop in. Let us know where you're watching from. And at the end, I'm going to do a little fun special giveaway offer. So stick around and we'll tell you a little more about that. But Raj, why don't you introduce yourself and let us know how you got here?
Sure. So thanks for the awesome introduction, by the way. So yeah, myketocoach.com, that's my site. It started from a personal journey. So if I go back 7 years, I was looking for a better solution to lose weight and feel healthier. I was, back then I was working, I was going hard. I thought I was eating healthy, and I wasn't getting the results at the gym I wanted, and I didn't feel healthy, most importantly. So what happened to me was, one sec. I started doing more research, and I found out about the ketogenic diet. So as I was doing more and more research I found out there's a ton of information out there, and everybody has their own take on it. So what I ended up doing was boiling down all the great things about all the different sources of information I had, and I came up with a very simple way to follow a ketogenic plan for great success.
Nice.
And it worked for me. So for me, I went from 240 pounds, a 44-inch waist, down to 174 pounds and a 31-inch waist. That was 7 years ago. I'm still that same today, 7 years later. I live a ketogenic lifestyle, obviously. It's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. I always tell people,
yes.
Because they always ask, okay, well, if I stop the keto diet, what will happen? I'm there, well, what do you think is going to happen? It's good. You're going to go back to the way you were. It's just makes sense. So so that started my journey. And then I started helping other people. And then they said, hey, you should write some kind of book or something. And it went from there. And here we are today.
Awesome. And you have a link to your keto diet book that you're going to add below, correct?
Yeah. If I don't know if I sent it to you. I don't know if I'll post it there after after our call here.
Great.
And I'll include the discount code too, so everybody who's watching this can get a discount.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Great. Okay. So, I think he might be frozen. Okay. All right. So, let's just get into some questions. So we have a lot of people here new that just heard the word keto. They really don't know what it means. You know, they just know that's the new diet. You know what I mean? So for what can you explain the benefits of keto? Why would someone want to eat a ketogenic diet?
Yeah. So I think the first thing, important thing is to define what the ketogenic diet is, because
Yes.
people
Yep.
have their own take on it. So the ketogenic diet is not the Atkins diet. Atkins is extremely high protein and low carb, where in a ketogenic diet, it's a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. And if you were to break it, like I always recommend 80% fat, 15% protein, and 5% carbs. And your carbs coming from greens like vegetables, spinach, those type of things, not from starchy sources. But and why do you want to be on a ketogenic diet? It's really putting you back into your natural state. So when you're born in a state of ketosis, which your body's running on its own fat for fuel. It's not running on a foreign substance like glucose, for example, through food, um, uh, from carbs and sugar. So what happens is that when you're on a ketogenic diet, it gets you back, it resets your body back into that natural state, let's say, and that's why people feel fantastic. Like you have energy all day long. You feel really great, really bright-eyed and sharp. Your brain runs amazing on ketones compared to glucose. So you feel great and it's very healthy for you. Sorry,
Yes.
messages. So and so that's why people, are merging over into a ketogenic diet and are really interested in this conversation of how can I get healthier and how can I eat this way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great. Okay. And like you said, there's different ways people eat keto. Like I'm not strict keto, and I don't claim to be, but I follow the loose guidelines. So people say there's lazy keto, there's strict keto, clean keto, and then it can get kind of confusing after that. But I kind of tell people to kind of fit what is going to fit in their lifestyle, because you don't. There's different ways of doing it, is there not? There's ways to put yourself in the ketosis or just eat a low carb, high fat diet. In other words.
yeah, there's multiple ways, right? There's some like core rules, I guess you could say, but
Right.
there's so many variances, and we're all metabolically different. Like what works for one person may not exactly work for the same person, for some next person. But science wise, the ketogenic diet does help with weight loss and feeling better and getting healthier.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there is multiple ways of doing it. You don't have to be super strict if you don't want to.
Right.
But it comes back to self-control. The problem people have is that, example, I get the question about cheat days. So the thing is that it's about self-control. So if you do have like a keto-ish lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
right? As long as you're staying true to yourself, that you're not going more into the ish part and staying more to the
Right.
keto part, then you're fine.
Right.
But people tend to start getting too off track, and then 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, they're like, "Whoa, how come I'm not losing any weight?"
Right.
Well, let's take a look back at what you were doing before, and you'll see why.
Right.
So,
So mainly the keto diet, what we were saying is it's a high carb, low fat. And when you say high carbs, you're talking about, I'm sorry, high fat, low carb. When you're saying high fat, you're
yeah.
talking about healthy fats. You're not talking about eating a pound of bacon every day. You're not, I mean, bacon's good, but we have to be mindful of the fats, because I've talked to a lot of people that's saying they tried it and they gained so much weight in the beginning. Well, it's about, because fats have a higher caloric intake, if I understand it correctly. So we're not eating as much as we think we're supposed to be eating. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're more calorie dense,
Yeah.
right? So that's a difference, and they're more filling for you too. So when you do consume the fat, you're fuller longer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you don't get those hunger cravings, you don't get those ups and downs throughout the day.
Right.
But so that's yeah, you're pretty much right. So you're not eating a ton of fat, unhealthy fat.
Correct.
Your fat sources like avocado oil, grass-fed butter is amazing. If you haven't tried it, it's amazing. When you're eating beef, like ground beef, for example, you use full fat. You don't use lean. You don't, or like I tell people, don't order chicken breast. Get chicken thigh or leg with the skin on, that type of thing. Because
Okay.
then your meals are always within the proportions of like ketogenic proportions
Mm-hmm.
of being a higher fat, moderate protein
Nice.
versus a high protein, lower fat.
Okay, all right, great. And then some people get confused about the carbs when they're reading the labels, like the net carbs and total carbs, and which ones we're able to use when we're talking about when we're looking at the different carb count. If you're counting how many carbs you're eating a day.
Yeah. So what's your question
I'm
then?
sorry.
How to
What's
read
the
it?
difference between
Oh,
net carbs and total carbs, and which
oh,
one
sorry.
should we be
Yeah.
looking at? Yeah.
Yeah, I get that one a lot because they people have been hearing about net carbs.
Hmm.
So what net carbs essentially is when you're reading a label, um, I don't have one here. I could have shown you a real live example, but a label on any package, you'll see the carb section, and in the carb section, it may say 10 carbs. And then right below it, it'll break it down. So you'll have dietary fiber, and let's just say in this example, your total carbs is 10, but dietary fiber was 5. So what you do is you subtract the dietary fiber from the total carbs because dietary fiber doesn't impact insulin,
Hmm.
right? And that's what we're trying to avoid. So you can subtract the 5. So technically, net carbs, this product is now 5 net carbs.
Okay.
So if you're calculating carbs a day or in that meal, it
Hmm.
would be worth 5, not 10. So that's how you calculate net carbs.
Great. Perfect. Yeah. And what he was talking about, guys, is just this little label back here where you read the carbs and you subtract the dietary fiber and sugar alcohols. So right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's in the nutrition label.
so can you explain the important? I get this a lot. People feel tired or dehydrated. Can you explain the importance of electrolytes when doing a ketogenic diet?
Yeah. Electrolytes are super important and a lot of people skip it or like they don't even know about that they need it. So what electrolytes are is magnesium, potassium, and maybe like a Himalayan salt. Keep
Hmm.
it really simple and basic. Those are all supplements you can get at your local pharmacy, and the Himalayan salt from your local grocery store. Usually the pink one is the best one, because it's unrefined. And what that's going to allow you to do is because you're on a ketogenic diet, your body's flushing a lot of carbs out. With that goes water, and you're also drinking a lot of water
Hmm.
because you should be. And what's happening is every time you're going to the bathroom, when you're releasing all your water, you're releasing a lot of nutrients. Along with that goes electrolytes you're getting from your food. So you got to replenish that. So you replenish it with the items I mentioned, and it helps you feel a lot better,
Hmm.
especially when you're getting into the ketogenic diet in your first couple of weeks. It really helps people break through keto stalls, really like lower the effects of keto flu, those type of things. But overall, for a balanced nutrition, you should always have it anyways.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Um, okay. So another questions I get is, do you test when you're in ketosis? And what is the best way to test that you're in ketosis, if that's what
Yeah.
you're going?
Yeah, you should test. I always tell people like, you should test if you're 100% into this and you really want to know what's going on in your body,
Hmm.
right? And it's a great way of learning your own body because we're all different. And so there's two ways to test out there. There's three ways, but the two common ones are through a urine strip. So they're called keto sticks, a little stick you
Right.
pee on. And then there's glucometer, which diabetics use for measuring blood glucose. You can also get keto sticks for that, ketone sticks, which will measure blood ketones.
Hmm.
So the urine sticks are not accurate, and the reason why is if you're drinking lots of water, the reading will be weak. So then now you think you're not in ketosis, but meanwhile it's just a dilution of your urine. So it'll cause you stress for no reason. That's basically what it comes down to. It's not a very accurate reading.
Okay.
Um, And if you drink less water, that thing will be like dark purple, and you're thinking you're going to be like in super ketosis mode, and you might not be, right? So it's all over the place.
Okay.
So I always recommend the glucometer,
Okay.
and it's a tiny little prick. It pricks you. You get the
Mm.
drop of blood, and that is unaffected by water intake and anything else. It's the true reading. It gives you less stress, so you're always consistently monitoring properly.
Okay.
And you only have to do it once a week
Oh.
because the sticks are a little expensive. So I always tell people once a week just because they're expensive,
Okay.
right? Or maybe twice a week at the beginning, but you don't need it more than that.
Oh. Okay.
And do it. And when you do it in the morning when you wake up. Wake up like the same time I tell people to weigh themselves. Weigh themselves like Monday morning, whatever one day you want. Only one day a week you weigh yourself, and that same time do your blood ketone reading right in the morning upon awakening.
Okay.
And at least this way you'll have the same true comparative week over week.
Great. Okay, great. I did know you could dilute the pea strips, and a lot of people, that's what they've been using, and they get frustrated very quickly because they don't understand why they're not getting where they want to be. And yeah, it's because they're completely well, they're not completely. They can be inaccurate for most people because of their water intake. So,
But one other thing I want to add too, though, is you can't always rely on the sticks and even the blood ketone readings all the time, because if your body is using the ketones, which is what we want, right? Especially with the urine one, if you're not peeing any out, that doesn't mean you're not creating them. You could be creating them and your body's using them, which is what you want, right?
oh,
So there's no extra left or very little extra left that's
got it.
coming out through your urine. So that's why that's a messed up reading. You want your body to be using the ketones, not only just peeing them
Sure.
all out. So
Oh,
that's another thing to consider.
okay. All right. And can you explain I do this. I've learned that I do this, but I did it because it fell naturally into my lifestyle and I realized I was doing it. I practice intermittent fasting. I stop eating at 6 o'clock at night and I don't eat again until 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's just because I wasn't hungry. Um, and I found that's how my body naturally falls into it. Can you explain what intermittent fasting and do you use it?
Yeah. So intermittent fasting is an excellent way to help get into ketosis in a quicker way, I guess. It also gives your body a break from digesting food all day long when you're awake. So when you start intermittent fasting, like how you're doing it, pretty much your biggest fast is while you're sleeping, right? Which
Yeah,
is the best way to do it because then you're sleeping. You're really not doing anything, right? Um, so I do it as well. It has lots of benefits. It gives you amazing mental clarity. It gives you great energy too. It gets you in your deeper fat burning mode as well. It also raises your growth hormone level, which is great for muscle building for men and women. But the way I do 18-hour fast, so it's a little longer. So I'll eat. So I'll go to the gym in the morning, and I'll be at the end of my fast. So I'll eat breakfast at 9 o'clock or 9:30, and then I won't eat again until the next day after the gym. So I'm at the end of my fast when I hit the gym. So I'm at the deepest part of my fast, but your
right.
growth hormone is at the highest, and that's actually where you feel the best. So
But that works naturally for you too, because I find people
yeah,
that
and
tried to do it and I was starving and I'm like, well, then your body it's not falling naturally for you. So that's what I tell people. Don't
yeah,
force it.
you don't force it, but when you are making that change, we have to be honest. Like I remember when I did it, I was starving there for a little while, right?
Okay.
But you get used to it very
Right.
quickly. You get used to it,
Okay.
and then it becomes natural. Now, like outside of that, like you get so much more free time. Like you're not cooking 3 meals a day. Like the
True.
time saving is amazing. The time you take to eat and wash all the dishes, like you save. So for me, it's like awesome. But you always have to go through that little hump, and
Yeah.
then you get so used to it.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, and do you use a tracker at all for your ketones, or have you found one that you find that you works best?
Yeah, a lot of my clients ask me about that. So, one of the things I like in the diet plan on my site, I made it super easy so you don't have to track it. But
Nice.
tracking is good because you should know what you're eating,
Hmm.
because you can't live out of a plan for your whole entire life. You have to, learn. The whole idea is to learn how to live this way outside of a book,
Hmm.
right? And you can do that with a tracker. So, two great free ones are fatsecret.com. Also comes in the app, and that's what I use, and also MyFitnessPal, which is super popular.
Hmm.
Those two, the great thing about those two is that in the menu section, after you put in all your food, at the bottom there's a little pie chart, and in that pie chart, it'll give you the macro breakdown exactly so you can see exactly for keto if it's 80% fat,
Right.
15% protein, and 5% carbs. So at a glance, you can take a look really easily.
And would one of those trackers help you figure out what you're supposed to be? Because I have a couple people saying, okay, I know I'm supposed to be eating 80%, 20%, or I'm sorry, 80%, 15%, and 5%, but how do I know how many calories for me that I'm supposed to be having? How do you determine that?
Yeah, so that's when you have to either use like an online calculator or you get a keto coach to help you.
Okay.
That's where that part comes into play
Okay.
because it has to be tailored to your kind of your current weight and things like that to see how you can go from there to get your weight down to here and
Got it.
below that. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. That's good to know. All right. Um, uh, this is a question that I just got recently, and I had no idea how to answer it. How do you know when your body is fat? What is fat adapted? And how do you know when your body's been fat adapted?
So fat adapted is just a fancy word that you're in ketosis, in deep
Okay.
ketosis, which means your body is now the primary fuel is fat. It no longer has glucose dependencies anymore.
Okay.
It's using fat all the time. So if glucose sneaks in there, like, I don't know, you have something that has a bunch of sugar in it or whatever,
Hmm.
right? You'll snap right back into ketosis in no time flat because
Okay.
you're keto adapted, because ketones is the primary fuel.
Okay.
And that takes, for some people, it'll take a couple of months to get to that level. Some people, a couple of weeks. Again, we're all different. But the idea is that you're fat adapted, meaning you're primarily running on your own body fat for fuel.
And like you said, it's different for everybody. Some people could be a couple days, some people could be months, and some people don't even actually reach that reach ketosis. Is that true? That it can be so
Yeah,
difficult sometimes that people don't even get there.
yeah. But the only reason they most likely that most of them that even if that I've worked with that don't reach it is
Mm.
because they're either not being honest with their diet, and
Okay.
they're either when I'm coaching them, they're lying to me, and then we figure it out, right? It usually comes down to their diet, right?
Okay.
It's very rarely it's a metabolic condition within themselves that they can't because it's really a natural process of your body.
Okay.
So it really comes down to an outside factor, which is usually food or
Okay.
moving, lack of moving.
Okay. And a lot of people talk about hitting a plateau. What is the best way to get past that plateau?
Yeah, Plateau is a big one. Like I get that one a lot, and I'll drop a link to that below as well. I have a free ebook you can download, which is 15 best ways to break a ketogenic plateau or improve your ketogenic diet.
Okay.
Because like anything, like once you start a ketogenic diet and you're dropping all this weight and you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden it plateaus a little bit, people get all stressed out. And then they lose it, and then they use. Sometimes people just say, "Okay, forget it. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
They don't realize what they're doing wrong. So some of the most common ones is one of the big ones I find is people over abuse dairy. So they think this is cheese heaven and they can just abuse the hell out of cheese, right? And I have clients that eat a lot of cheese and they're fine, but most are not, even myself. So cheese, because of the dairy sensitivities in it, um, if someone has a plateau, I always ask them how much cheese they're eating or dairy, and I say just eliminate it for 3, 4 days, right? Just try it, supplement it with something else, switch over something else, and most of the time that works and it breaks the plateau. Yeah, dairy one, as well as people who snack on nuts. So people say, "Oh, I'm eating nuts, I'm good." They're like, "But when you sit with a bag beside you at your desk at work and you're having a nut at like over an hour or 2 hours, that's a lot of calories, right? It may be keto, but that's a ton of calories, right? So we got to be cognizant of that as well.
Okay.
And water intake. A lot of people don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
And then the electrolyte piece, which we talked about
Right.
earlier, electrolytes help a lot as well.
Okay. Great. Okay. Um,
The book has 15 of the most popular over all the people I've coached. So I've
okay.
taken all the data and I've put it in there, and it'll definitely help.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I was saying, I eat more of a keto-ish diet. I eat low carb, high fat, 99% of the time, but I'm not going to beat myself up going out and having pizza with my kids. And that's because this is a different lifestyle for me. That's the lifestyle that works for me. But the way I do it is because I have this fun little product here, which we'll get into in a minute, is ketones. And it puts our body in nutritional ketosis within 1 hour drinking it. I don't use it as a band-aid or a crutch, but it can be an aid for those people that have a hard time maybe eating 100% ketogenic or just want an edge up for different for like for using for a pre-workout. There's so many different reasons to use it. So, but for those that eat a strict keto diet, why would you even want to incorporate something like exogenous ketones into your diet?
Well, about the Keto product.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually a disbeliever in the product when I was first introduced to it 2 years ago. And I was actually going to create a video to debunk the whole company because I didn't think it was going to work. Because I'm all about nutritional ketosis. That's the way to get into ketosis,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when I tried that product, I did blood work while I drank it. Blood work prior, during, and then after, and the day
Okay.
after. And most supplements don't even get into your bloodstream. All those other supplements you buy from GNC and all those things, because I've taken a ton of supplements in my day. You just pee them all out, right? So this one I was trying to see if it actually got into my blood, and it
Mm-hmm.
did, and it spiked ketones to like super high levels, which I never got to before, and I've monitored my blood for 7 years. Okay, so right then I knew this product was amazing. So the way I leverage it with my clients
Mm-hmm.
is that it is the number one tool when you're coming into a ketogenic diet, or if you're living a keto-ish diet, or even if you're super strict keto. Because what it does, it gives you like the power to get through those tough times. Example, when you're having carb cravings,
Mm-hmm.
this drinking a Keto or exogenous ketone product, since it gives you like the instant benefits of ketosis, like within 1 hour uh, around. So what happens is you're gonna have amazing hunger control, appetite control. You're gonna have the amazing energy as well as the focus and mental clarity. So with those all combined together, you feel great. You make better food choices, right? And you just feel more empowered.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people love that product. And obviously, it tastes really great, and they're always evolving it.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been incorporating it into people that I talk to, and even
Okay.
myself. So I used it. Since I work out, fasted in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
I drink a Keto Max. Raspberry lemonade is my favorite, or Heart Tart when it's available. I drink that before I go at the gym, and then I'll have a second one in mid afternoon, or I'll have a keto cream in my coffee.
Okay.
And that's how I incorporate in my life, and a lot of my clients do too, and it works really well.
Yeah, I started drinking about 4 months ago. I came across it because of I worked out pretty heavy. I worked out 6 days a week. I lifted a lot of weights, and but my diet was higher protein at the time, and probably higher carb, and I was starving all the time, and I was in a horrible mood, and my energy level was so low. And then I tried this, and has become just a life changer for me. I no longer am tired. I have so much more energy. I tell people I feel 10 years younger because I have so much more
Yeah.
energy, mind clarity. I don't need a 2 o'clock nap. Like that doesn't even happen anymore. And it is probably the best pre-workout I've ever had. Like I don't have the jittery feeling, and it just makes me feel amazing all day long. And it's a lifesaver. Mine actually is the Maui Punch. That's my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
It's delicious. And that's why I started drinking, why I started telling others about it, because I just found it has given me such a leg up in my healthy lifestyle that I can't imagine not having it now, because it's just helped me so much. So guys, if you're curious about this and why because of how much it's helped Raj and I, so many other people, drop a 5 or a 10 below. I can get you that different flavors. You can try them, feel them in your body and brain, and we can talk more about how it can help you depending on what you've got going on. So, and guys, it's not a protein shake. It's not a health food shake. You mix it in water and ice, and you're good to go. And like Raj says, they taste amazing. There's so many different flavors: raspberry lemonade, Maui Punch, Swiss cacao, specialty flavors. They come in charged and uncharged, which just means caffeine or non-caffeinated. And they're really great. And they put you in ketosis within 1 hour of drinking it. Some of the other benefits: it's fat loss, the energy, the better mood, better sleep, better skin, muscle preservation. And this is a good one,
Big one.
because I have a lot of people talking to me about weight loss, and it's not weight loss. It's what I tell them, it's fat loss, and you're preserving your muscles at the same time. Because a lot of times when people are trying to lose weight, they're also losing muscle mass. Is that not right? So
Yeah, and that's the worst thing you want.
right, you're putting yourself in a worse situation than when you started. So this is actually helping you lose have fat loss as well as preserving the muscles that you already have, which is something we haven't talked about, why we probably don't see the scale moving as quickly as we'd like. If you want to touch a little on that, why we don't always see the scale move in the beginning of either drinking ketones or being in a ketogenic diet.
Yeah, so, like I mentioned before, a lot of people, they weigh themselves too many times in the week.
Yeah.
And what happens is, your body fluctuates weight daily, a couple of pounds even, right? If you have a lot of salt one day, it's going to go up, it's going to less, go down, release a lot of water. There's too many factors. So if you're weighing yourself too many times, you're stressing yourself out. And then on top of that, you're raising cortisol levels because of the stress, which is not good. So if you weigh yourself once a week, it'll give you a less stress on that point. But also the reason why, like, sometimes you might not see weight loss on the scale, it could be because you're putting on muscle. When you're in a ketosis state, you're in an anabolic state, which means, you're not eating away muscle. You're either keeping or building lean muscle. So if you're going at the same rate of fat loss and muscle gain, you'll net zero on a scale, but your pants will fit looser, and you'll feel awesome, and you'll look great. So, we can't always depend on the scale. That's why I always recommend taking body measurements. Just so there's a little bit of self-motivation that has to happen as well. So if the scale's not moving, but you lost 2 inches off your waist, that's a big win. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So I tell people measurements and pictures, and just seeing how your clothes fit. That's going to be, the scale is a liar. I don't even weigh myself anymore. It doesn't matter anymore, because it's all in how I believe how you feel and how you fit in your clothes. You can tell so much about how your clothes are fitting. So I wanted to talk a little bit more. You touched on keto cream. Keto cream right here, I drink it every morning in my coffee. I actually was not a big coffee drinker until I started drinking this. And it is so freaking delicious that I have to have it every morning. So why don't you?
I know, it is good.
It is so good. You guys, this is, I always mess it up. It's not fat bomb count. It's Bulletproof coffee, only simplified. And to me, it tastes better. I've tried the Bulletproof coffee. I made a mess of my kitchen, and I didn't actually care for it very much. So why don't you tell us a little about what this is and why it's so amazing?
Yeah, so a lot of people that are doing ketogenic diet or low carb, high fat diet, if you don't want to call it ketogenic diet,
right,
they incorporate, that brand Bulletproof, or fatty coffee. Some people call it fatty tea because they make tea with it. And what that essentially is adding butter, MCT oil, coconut oil to your coffee and blending that up and drinking it. The problem is it's so inconvenient and, just like you mentioned, messy. When I used to have a corporate job, I'd be bringing all that to work, and it was a gong show. It was like, and when you spill that on your desk, that thing is like an oil slick. Like, you can't even wipe that off after, right? So anyways, so Pruvit came out with this amazing product, Keto Cream, which is like, I say it's the savior for all those people that are doing this fatty coffee. And now you just tear that packet, pour in your coffee, blend it up. It replaces your creamer. You don't even need sweetener in it anymore. No. And it has a hint of coconut, and it tastes amazing. And what you're going to get is 14 grams of healthy fat that comes from coconut oil, derived from MCT, actually, and which is the best part. So you're going to get great energy, and you're going to have a good, clean source of fat added to your coffee. So that's the benefits of it.
There's some discrepancy. Would this be considered breaking your fast then, if you were fasting? With the Bulletproof coffee, would that break your fast if you're doing like a intermittent fasting?
It's tough to say. A lot of people ask me that, and that's something you have to monitor, like, individually. It doesn't break my fast, for example. And how you can know if it breaks your fast is if you're fasting for fat loss, and after a couple of weeks you're not losing anything, it could be that. Okay. Because there's really no other way to monitor if you're in a fasted state other than monitoring your results coming out of it. Okay. But no, I've been doing it for a long time with Keto Cream, and it doesn't break my fast.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah. And we have two more products that I want to talk about. This 143. This is our own blend of MCT oil, and it's delicious. And there's so many things we can do with it. We can You can cook with it. You can drink it out of this. You can make fat bombs from it.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little more about, because you did touch on MCT, because that can go in your Bulletproof coffee, but why don't you tell us a little more about the 143?
So the 143 is it's partnered with Pruvit and Dr. Mary Newport,
Mm-hmm.
who did a lot of science background into MCT and helping her husband. He had certain conditions that she used her own formula to help him. So what MCT 143 is, the way I position it, it's a supercharged MCT. So MCT is medium chain triglyceride. So it's the best part of coconut oil. The best part meaning it's the part that gives you the energy. It's the fat that doesn't get stored in your body. So it's normally when you consume fat, like in regular anything, some of it will be saved in your body, but MCT doesn't. It passes through your system, and the rest just gets burned up as energy. That's why you get the energy from it. It quickly digests. So that product there is like the best of the best. Has lauric acid and all these other great things in it. And the thing I love about it is actually it does not taste, has a very, very light taste of coconut, almost nothing. That you can drink it straight out of the pack.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to coconut oil, but that one there, I just tear it open, I just suck it right out of the pack, and I'm done. And it's awesome. It almost tastes like water. So it's very, very good.
It doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, no, which makes it good.
Yeah.
I make salad dressings with it, so I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. And then one more product that we're going to be doing here soon. It's actually really big right now. It's our third time doing it. It's called the Reboot, the Keto Reboot. Yeah. This is something that, like I said, this will be our third time doing it as a company. It was my first time doing any sort of fast like that. And what it does is really reset our metabolism. We use our ketones. We use our better broth. And it's, why don't you, I am still learning everything it can really do for our body. So why don't you tell us a little more why we would do a reboot for our bodies and why we do once a month, really?
So when I found out that Pruvit was coming out with this product, I was like super ecstatic because there is nothing else like this on the market. And the reason why it's so awesome is because it's only 4 products in there, but they're all with purpose. Mm-hmm. There's no BS in there. Each one has a purpose for 60 hours to reset your body back into its natural state. It's a metabolic reset. And what that means is it's trying to get you back into a deeper level of ketosis, getting you back into using your body fat as the fuel source, which we've been talking about this whole conversation.
Right.
And it's not a fast per se because you're consuming these products.
Right.
Right. It's not because you're having something, you're not having nothing. Right. Essentially. And so what it consists of is 4 products. So there's the Better Broth, which is amazing bone broth. Salted caramel is like ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Thyme, which is really, really good as well. So everything is timed out perfectly in a really scheduled format that it makes it easy to execute this. So there's Better Broth for that, and then there's Signal OS. Signal OS is made of AC11, which really helps with signaling between the brain. We have Keto S Max, which you showed. So that one obviously for the ketones and the energy. Mm-hmm. And then we also have Keto Calm Tea. Yes. So that one they take in the nighttime, and that one really is a ketone for before you go to sleep. It really helps you sleep well. Again, amazing flavors. Yes. It comes in that comes in the kit. So it's a super simple kit. It comes with like a Facebook support group. It's the perfect product from start to finish because it helps the customer through the 60 hours.
Yeah.
Right. It's done once a month, every month. In the first of the month, you can purchase it for the first 5 days. Yes. And then the 11th of the month is when it starts. And we do it as a group. You get added to this private Facebook group with Pruvit, and they help you through the whole 60 hours. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I can't wait to do it again. So yeah, that's, and where do you find your recipes? Because Pinterest is my favorite place, but I was just curious, do you have another place that you find your recipes that you are in?
Well, Pinterest is really good because, so to be honest, like So when you go to my site and my diet plan, I'm big on simplicity and I hate cooking. Meanwhile, I've lived the ketogenic lifestyle for 7 years. Okay, my wife does a lot of the cooking,
Okay.
right? And you'll see Chef Prav on my site. My wife's name is Prav. So she does a lot of the cooking, and she usually finds stuff on Pinterest, um, as well as all those like Tastely and all those other things that they have. There's a ton of great out there for recipes. Even on my ketocoach.com, I have a lot of great keto recipes there too. You guys can go there and take. Um, but there's so many because the keto conversation is growing so quickly. There's a ton of great resources out there. There's no shortage of it. Amazon has a lot of great ketogenic diet recipe books as well. So, but yeah,
I've
there's a
also
lot.
Facebook has a lot of now keto pages that have a lot of great resources as well too. Those there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
And what is a fat bomb? I eat them. When I discovered what a fat bomb was,
Yeah.
it's what I use when I have a craving for something sweet. So I make the sweet ones over the savory, but there's different kinds. So what is the purpose of a fat bomb?
So a fat bomb is really for like exactly the purpose you use it for. It's for people that have a sweet tooth,
Mm-hmm.
or if you get hungry in the night, you would eat a fat bomb. So a fat bomb is typically it looks like a little chocolate. It could be well, it doesn't have to be chocolate. It could
Right.
be any flavor essentially, but it's a little food, a little food that's usually sweet, but it's made of high fat. So it's usually like around 80 or 90% fat.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is that it's a sweet snack that you can have at any time of the day that'll hold you over.
Yes.
And you're not gonna break out of keto because it's so high fat, and it's gonna hold you over because it's so high fat. I have a couple of fat bomb recipes on my site as well, but again, there's tons out there, many
Nice.
out there.
Okay.
You can make a really good fat bomb recipe out of keto cream as well.
I I need to try that. I've seen that. I do. I need to
Yeah,
try.
that one's good. I've tried that one.
Coveted
Pruvit
though. I
has
need
it on their
my
site.
coffee every morning. If I run out and don't have it in my coffee, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to try that. Well, thank you so much, Raj. And you guys, if you were curious about Keto OS, it's amazing. Drop a 5 or 10 below. I can talk to you about the different flavors, what they can do for you. They help. They help with so many other things than just being tired or putting your body into ketosis. They can help with inflammation. They can help with a lot of ailments that you might have. So just we can have a conversation. We can even talk with Raj if you have any concerns about what they can help do for you. So drop a 5 or 10 below, and I get with you. And anyone who messages below or comments below, questions, I'll get back to you. I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you yet. And anyone who has any questions, please, I'll get back to you. And I'm going to put anyone that's commented in a little drawing, a little fun drawing. So if you watch this later, let us know where you're from. Let us know your questions, and I'll get back to you. And I'll put you in a drawing for some free ketones and a shaker cup. So I'm glad you
Definitely.
all. What's that?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, if like people that are watching this video, they should definitely hit you up for samples because remember, I was a disbeliever in the product.
True.
That was 2 years ago, right? And I shouldn't. I held off for a whole month before trying the sample, so it was a mistake of mine. But that's past now. So that's why I'm going to recommend anybody get the samples from her 5 or 10 days. Try it for yourself. You have to experience it for you to understand how amazing the product is, and then you can make your own call. Don't miss out like I did.
Yeah.
At first,
Yes, exactly. So thank you so much, Raj, for being here. I truly appreciate answering all our questions. Thank you again. And you guys, if you have any questions, again, let us know and just drop them below. And I hope everyone has a great Tuesday.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, Raj. Bye.
See ya.